Hi, Kevin Coupe here, and this is FaceTime with the Content Guy. I thought this week I would address a couple of questions that have popped up recently in emails that I've been getting from the morning newsbeat community, things that I can maybe explore a little bit longer than I would in your views. One question I got was why we spend so much time on morning newsbeat focusing on Tesco's fresh and easy neighborhood market concept that's out west here in the United States. The reader said in an email, I'm just one guy, but I love Fresh and Easy and its concept. Honestly, I see Walmart as a bigger monster. The employees at Fresh and Easy seem happier than at Ralph's, Vons, or Walmart, and yet Safeway and Kroger are mentioned much less often in your commentary. Well, first of all, I don't think I hope I'm not addressing any of these companies as if they're monsters. I think I use the word behemoth every once in a while, but that's different from being a monster. The fact of the matter is, I think these are all companies that are trying to make a profit, that are trying to do the right thing, that occasionally make mistakes, and often succeed at what they're trying to do. You can differ with their approach, you can disagree with what they're trying to do, and even with how they treat their people sometimes. But I think companies are companies, and it's important not to kind of give them human characteristics. I'm just trying to be equitable and fair-minded. I think one of the reasons I focus on Fresh and Easy Neighborhood Market is it was a small store format, and they were trying to do some interesting things really ahead of the marketplace. They were also, quite frankly, the world's third biggest retailer, and they made a lot of missteps in the western United States, and it's interesting to see what they're doing in terms of trying to correct those missteps. They made a mistake in terms of how they read their market. They made a mistake in terms of the format that created, but they are trying to put it right. And I'm one of those people. I'm not negative on Fresh and Easy at all. In fact, I'm one of those people who keep saying that I think they've got deep pockets and patience, and they're likely to stay in it for the long haul unless somebody makes them an offer they can't refuse. I just think it's an interesting story, and that's what I mostly try and focus on. Interesting stories. I don't have any kind of quota. I don't try and figure out, okay, how many times did I talk about this company versus that company? Another question I got the other day is if I'm inconsistent in some of the ways I talk about the obesity crisis. The suggestion was one day I'm talking about how fat Americans have gotten, and I'm talking about what government ought to do in terms of regulation, and the next day I'm salivating over things like ice cream pizza or this bottle of wine or that kind of beer or some meal that I've had at a restaurant. And the suggestion is that I'm not being inconsistent. I actually don't think I am. My general position on this, let me be really clear about this, is that I want to be able to eat and drink pretty much what I want. If I want to have ice cream pizza, that's fine. However, if I have that ice cream pizza, it's then incumbent on me the next day I better go for an extra long bike ride, I better work out a little bit more at the gym, or I at the very least better have a salad to compensate for what I ate. That said, I think it's incumbent on the industry to provide absolutely clear, unambiguous, and prominent labeling, whether it's on a can or whether it's on a menu board in a restaurant or in a menu, telling me what I'm eating, so at least I can make an informed decision. If all those things happen, I think we're in pretty good shape. Now, I sometimes get accused of wanting a nanny state. Well, you'll note that I've never mentioned the government up until now. I don't necessarily think the government needs to get involved in that as long as everybody involved, people and companies, do the right thing. Sad fact, however, is that companies and people don't always do the right thing, and that sometimes we need a referee to make sure that everybody's playing according to the rules and nobody's trying to put one over on the consumer. And frankly, it ought to be in everybody's best interest to be focusing on the consumer and making sure we're giving them what they want, when they want it, how they want it, and as much information about it as they can possibly use. Finally, got a lot of email last week while I was in Barcelona from people who had basically a variation on a very specific question. So let me answer it this way. Yes, I have a great gig. Yes, I'm having a great time. And I try never, ever to forget it. I'm a lucky guy. Anyway, that's what's on my mind this Thursday morning. And as always, I'd like to hear what's on your mind.